What's up, boss? You believe that? Hold on. Oh no. Do you believe that? Huh? Oh no. I read through that bull junk you wrote down. I read through that. I sifted through all that. Yeah. Oh no. Come on. Do you believe? You don't believe. You just answered it. You don't believe.
That was Coach Prime after the first few weeks of the season when Colorado was beating opponents, getting tough, gritty wins, and everyone was galvanizing behind this new phenomenon in college football. At a time, Deion and the Buffaloes were the hottest topic in the country. And this year has been a success because they only won one game last season, so it's an upgrade. So next year, it'll be time to go to that next level. I want to highlight this video today because Jay Norvell, the head coach of Colorado State, and remember that's the game Travis Hunter got injured in. There was some bad blood all around leading up into that game, and he had some words to say about Deion, and there was an exchange back and forth back then. Let's highlight that today to catch people up on why what he said recently is significant. Let's peep it.
Sat down with ESPN today, and I don't care if they hear it in Boulder. I told them I took my hat off and I took my glasses off, and I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and my glasses off. That's what my mother taught me. So it's going to be really interesting. We've heard about game day being there. We've heard about, what's the other Fox people, whatever that is.
Big news kickoff.
They're there. Stephen A's going to be there. They're telling me The Rock's going to be there and Kevin Hart. It doesn't really matter. What matters is what's on the field. And so we're really, really excited about that from the very first snap. Obviously, we had too many penalties. I can't even speak about it. It's so ridiculous. And it's a real shame because a lot of those penalties took away a lot of great efforts from our kids. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Never seen such a lopsided game penalty-wise.
Truthfully, it's one point in the game I said, we can't let this dude win. There ain't no way we let this dude win. His press conference is going to be unbearable if we let this dude win. And but I knew even when we got the ball on the 2 or 3, 4 yard line, I said, as long as the ball in Shedor's hands, we're going to get down this field. I knew that without a shadow of a doubt.
That moment was significant because after that game, Colorado went on to lose 7 of their next 8. And in the midst of that, Coach Prime, there's been different things said about Cormani McClain's playing time. Was Travis Hunter playing too many snaps? Is Shedor holding the ball too long? These are all narratives that were being painted. But Prime was consistent with saying he needs more help on the O&D line, but he made a disparaging remark that drew the ire of a lot of people that were supporting him and those around the media. And this is what he said about his O-line.
I just asked that for the big picture, trying to keep Shedor upright, healthy, and the overall.
The big picture, you go get new linemen. That's the picture. I'm going to paint it perfectly.
So after last night's blowout, against Washington State, they took it to them from the onset. And Travis Hunter and Shedor were injured different times throughout the game. I mean, it was a straight up beatdown. This is what Prime had to say after that.
Is this the toughest stretch of your coaching career this far?
This is the toughest stretch of my life.
So Jay Norvell was in an interview recently, and they just asked him about this after all of Colorado's struggles, and he's been holding this, and he was able to say what he was trying to convey, in the midst of the week they were preparing for Colorado. This is why he has so much animus towards them, and he felt like, and not necessarily him, he was trying to get his guys to the level. They're talking about them over there. That's our in-state rival. We need to come out and perform and, take all that media attention and make our statement in our moment. And they did. Like, Colorado State came out, really outplayed Colorado for most of that game, but the talent and the playmakers they had took over in the end. But this is what Jay Norvell had to say about Coach Prime and that whole regime over there at Colorado. Let's peep.
I had played Colorado a lot of times, and so going into that game, I knew it was a rivalry game. They used to play that game in Mile High Stadium between Colorado State and Colorado, and so the game's been off the schedule. I knew how much it meant to the fans at CSU, and I get it. Deion's a celebrity. ESPN, wanted to prop him up and milk the whole story for as long as they could. And I just was tired of hearing about it. ESPN came and interviewed our kids, and all they did was ask about Colorado. And I thought it was really disrespectful. And, it's a rivalry game. And, we wanted people to know that we were there to win the game. And we have a good program. And, I just made that comment on my own personal values. I don't wear sunglasses when I speak to adults. I take them off. I take my hat off. And I expect our players to do it too. And I just felt like as a leader, that's my job to set an example. And so, they took it the whatever way they took it. But I really was making a message to our players and our program.
So it's exactly what I said. He was tired of hearing about Coach Prime, and he got out of his body, because that's actually one of the people that Coach Prime gave props to prior to their matchup. Being another coach of color and just being able to meet up, he thought was really cool. And Jay Norvell let what the media was saying about him get to him. And I know it's got to be frustrating when you're trying to prepare your team. One thing you want to do is probably spark up some sort of ammunition for the team, so they won't go there and just be in awe of seeing the rappers on the sideline and all. No, we here to win a game. And I think that's the message he was trying to send. But, you had that player get that targeting on Travis Hunter. That it was really brutal. They ended up being cool later because the kid is actually from Boulder, Colorado. So that's the wild thing. But, yeah, it was just as I suspected. He was jealous of the media attention, and not jealous like he wants something to happen to Prime or nothing like that, but just, natural competitive jealousy. That you have that sometimes, like, oh, look, they think they that. Okay, I'm going to show them I'm this. That type of jealousy, not malicious or anything that goes into your personal life. But, ESPN, it looked like to me, though, that like Fox and them had a deal because Coach Prime was coming on for Undisputed at the beginning of the year, week after week when they were winning. So I think they more so had a deal with them than like ESPN. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at that, I say, Coach Prime came in and did what he was supposed to do. But now going into the next season, the main thing has to be the main thing. He could do some of that talking and all that, but the humble pie has been served 7 of the last 8 weeks, with Utah still waiting on the schedule, which is likely not going to be a win. I think they have to go to Utah. So he's going to have to shore up a lot of things with this team. And it doesn't work by just bringing in 70, 80 new players, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like you could, I exaggerate it, but no, if you bring it in like a new O-line, new D-line, you should have a few people there. It's about continuity and building, that time together, getting that time in. You can't just bring in 1-year players and think all of them are going to be synchronized and, blocking like they're supposed to for Shedeur. Somebody that's on that line now, ideally would be there next year. You would want that, but he's ostracized them so bad. We're going to look and see how the transfer portal actually works against him this year, how many people are going to stay, because you have the whole thing going around that Daddy Ball is being played with Travis Hunter and Deion Sanders, and some of these guys were pawns to get to Boulder. Now, some of them weren't ready, but we saw some players, what was my man's name? And it was in the USC game. It was one of them players in one of those games that they were closer, that they won, that really took a step forward. And we were like, does Travis Hunter need to play all these snaps, or should some of these other players that's not playing both sides of the ball get some of these snaps? I wondered that myself at times, both for Travis's safety and, just wondering what these guys' ability is like. So you have that whole thing too. And so the perception of the team is different. I remember Bryce Underwood was looking at potentially going to Boulder. Him and his dad was speaking highly of it. And then you had the quarterback from Georgia commit, so that's pretty much out. But they were looked at favorably amongst most recruits after week 3. Now you look at it later in the season, 7 of the next 8 they done lost. They've lost a bit of that momentum. because now it's looking like, okay, maybe that's just smoke and mirrors, what Coach Prime is talking about. And the team, he's more of a salesman and a showman than a coach. Now, I don't think you can assess that properly either way, especially with them improving this year. Next year is really going to be the litmus test for where he's at as a coach at that level. And even the year after that, I'd say you'd have to even give him 3 seasons, because I think 2 is unfair. But you want to see steady progress. So they didn't finish 500 this year, but you would look for them to get 7 wins next year. That would be successful. And then that next year, you would expect them to be, pretty elite in that conference. Well, I guess they're going to the Big 12. So, but you would expect them to be a winning team going forward. A championship, that's going to be hard to attain at the high major level, but you do want to see incremental improvement. And I think that's what you have players looking at. You have their parents looking at that now. And, he's going to have these individual meetings with players like Cormani McClain. I saw he said something good about him last night, how he's improving. But a lot of times you get to this point in the season, the players made up their mind if they're going to leave or not. We don't know what Cormani's thinking. But, of course, a coach would say that going into next season. So I don't know how genuine it is or if he's seeing progression. And I ain't saying Coach Prime is wrong for it or nothing like that. I'm just saying, you think about these players and how they view things. And you look at Coach Prime as a coach. All these factors are at play, whether we like it or not. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.